Percy, the number 6 Green Engine, is one of Sir Topham Hatt's hardest workers. In today's episode of Enterprising Engines, we're going to talk about why Percy is Sir Topham Hatt's most hard worker. Let's get on with this video, shall we? Now, a little backstory on how Percy started off as a hard worker. Percy came at a sort of a wrong time, when things were bad, and Gordon, Henry, and James weren't cooperating. Sir Topham had left them in the shed, and from my memory, Thomas, Edward, and this little green tank engine had to work the main line and the branch lines all by themselves. And then when Sir Topham Hatt let the big engines out, Percy still was a hard worker shunting. Percy even trained Duck and helped with some restoration on Thomas's branch line. Percy works pretty hard in the books and in the show. There's no doubt about that. Percy's just flippin' amazing. And here are a couple of reasons why Percy is just a hard worker.
Percy's been put upon, Percy's been put upon, poor old Percy.
Put upon Percy just basically explains Percy is a hard worker. There is another episode, I think in the exact same season, where Percy's covered with chocolate after doing a hard day's work. But this one, to me, just puts it out there more. Percy is willing to do a lot of hard work and put every effort into it. Percy even gets covered inside the mind. Like, come on, he thought about it, and he quickly found some place to keep him and his driver and fireman safe. Percy works really hard, and it doesn't matter how much work he does. He doesn't really get a rest or a break, and he always feels put upon about all this work. Percy's very enterprising in this statement. He works really hard for a tank engine his size. He's not pulling the express or pulling goods trains, but he's pulling heavy stone, rock, and other things to places they have to go for the train of bigger engines to take. He's doing a really big job. This episode shows off Percy is a very hard worker. From collecting steel from the steelworks, collecting stone from the quarry, and etc. in the episode. This just shows off Percy's enterprising skills and the character he is as a hard worker. Let's get on to another episode that shows a similar quality about his favorite job. In Thomas, Percy, and the Mail Train, Thomas and Percy, and this is mainly Percy because this is a Percy job throughout the rest of the series. Percy proves time and time again that the mail train needs to be run by the trains. It is reliable, and this episode shows how Percy, and I'll also mention Thomas here, work really hard to pull the mail train. Percy does this in later seasons, but this episode, if we take Thomas out of it, shows how Percy is determined to keep on going. He won't let a helicopter get in his way or the flying Kipper get in his way either. Percy is tirelessly working this train, and episodes in season 3 itself prove this. There's an episode where Percy shares it with Duck, where Percy is tired after the mail train. Actually, it could even be this episode too. It just is consistent throughout the series how Percy works really hard to deliver the mail, and this episode just shows it. Percy works through the night, just like the Flying Kipper, and the Flying Kipper is run by Henry, the big engine. So, Percy's so enterprising. If Henry can pull a Flying Kipper, and he is an enterprising engine in himself, why isn't Percy? It's just because Percy is a hard worker, and that's what makes him very enterprising. He's also a really useful engine. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video of why Percy is such a hard worker. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will be doing a follow-up on Percy and Henry, and Duck too, actually. But these are just a couple of videos that will be coming out randomly through the next couple months, and I hope you guys like this content. Also in the comments down below, tell me what you would like to see more of. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, and check out my other videos. Thanks again for all the support on this channel. You guys rock. Peace.